Welcome to the show, everybody.
All for the ladies. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's your
What's up?
2024-2025 NFL Super Bowl. This is the roundup show because this is the show where we bring all of what the bullshit we've talked about with this Super Bowl right up to par with everybody. But
I got a quick question here. Hold on. Did you change the intro? Because it's now you've got it to it's all for the ladies, where before it used to be it's exactly what you want. So you changed it, didn't you?
I didn't change it. Somebody snuck that up. It's always been in there. I didn't even notice that, but I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want. I was thinking.
Yeah, that's usually exactly. Now it's all for the ladies. Okay. Anyway,
not everybody wants me, but they know it's all for the ladies. Bro.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
I got the voice today for that, right? So
yes, you do.
So what I was going to say was, guys, everybody, welcome. I just want to, let you guys know that this is probably our last one that we're going to do, right? Well, it is our last one that we're going to do right now. All right. And the greatest part about this is that we're coming with more stuff for you guys. So don't worry about that. But guys, always make sure to like and subscribe. Even if you don't like it, just like it anyways, because that's what you want. All right.
That's right.
There you go, Rob.
Gives us more likes.
It helps bring people out there. And guys, remember, if you want the best that we're trying to bring you, you got to come and check out Late Night Chat Network. It's your one stop for pop culture talk. All right. And that's for you, Nico. All right.
You're getting better, dude.
Keeping it real. Just keeping it real.
You're right off the top of the head.
Make sure to check out, the channel all the time. We got all the content you want. We got comic shop talk. We got with Chris and Nico. We got the movie show, the movie podcast that Lewis. Where the fuck am I getting Lewis? He's gone.
Don't say he's gone.
He's changing diapers, bro. Yeah. And then you got Julie, me, Max, and Nico, and we're coming. We talk about movies, so we're gonna bring out a fucking rocket movie this week. We had to reschedule because we all decided to get sick. So don't worry, guys, that'll be coming for you. So this is my first podcast back since all that, guys. Late night mixtapes every Friday night. They drop. Keep tuned into the channel, to the network, and you guys will know of all the updates coming up. So, guys, with no further ado, we have a special guest here, and Rob is going to introduce the person that we have coming as our guest this week.
Yes, we do. Thanks, GT. We have a special guest. Very knowledgeable football. I actually don't know how long she's been watching football, but I'll definitely be asking that. But yes, it's my niece, Kathleen, and let's welcome her.
All right.
All right.
Let her freak the shit out of her.
There she is. Hey. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on. This is so much fun.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that you agreed to do this because, like we said at the beginning of our podcast for the Super Bowl here, that we're just beginners here. JT and I've been watching maybe football for maybe 3-4 years. You guys got me into it, and then I got JT into it, I guess, about 2 years. So we're learning fast, but not fast enough. But how long have you actually been involved watching football? Do you remember?
I can't not remember watching football. That's how long.
Wow.
Like when I was very, very young, I remember probably the first like really distinct thing in my mind. I maybe was only like 3 or 4 years old. I had Starship Enterprise toy that I wanted the batteries changed.
Nice.
And because it made all sorts of Star Trek-y noises, right? And anyway, I remember I went up to my mom, and everybody was over watching football this Sunday, and so okay, can you change the batteries on this? She's like, This is an after football thing.
I can see that very well. Yep.
I remember at that point sitting down and watching a game, and it was the Cowboys playing because that's her favorite team, but I cannot recall who they were playing against. But it was sort of like an indoctrination moment into football, right? And then just been watching ever since. Right?
That's incredible.
I started cheering though for the Steelers when I was maybe in my mid-teens. And they really started to get good. Ben Roethlisberger came on board. They drafted him just shortly,
I remember that name.
kind of before I started watching. And then, since then, really paid attention to football.
No kidding,
Those sort of like interim years, it was more hockey and a little bit of baseball too, that sort of thing.
Yep. Oh yeah, you're diehard Jays. I know that diehard Leafs, and you're.
For better
unfortunately, the Steelers. I know half the family.
Wait. The only team that I can agree with you on there is the Jays. I'm sorry. I apologize about that.
Unfortunately, he's a Habs fan, so
that's I know. I don't know how that happened to you, JT, but we all make mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. Oh God, here we go. What do you got? Like a collection of bloody hats down there? That's all I've seen is you and your hats down there.
He just pulls them out of nowhere.
I know. It's all of a sudden he was wearing a KC hat earlier. Right, so actually it's been a long.
I got socks, I got everything.
Oh my God, dude!
Oh, the
crazy.
Swag!
Look at this guy. He's a walking billboard.
I got your way in. I got your home style. That's it, man.
Oh, you're nuts. So you basically, you've always been. I know you played baseball quite competitively, for growing up, and I know you always wanted to play hockey, but unfortunately, my sister put the kibosh on that because she was afraid to. Oh, she was afraid that she was going to get the puck was going to hit her in the face. I mean, did she forget that you wear a mask? But
that's right. And the funny thing about it is that instead of playing hockey, then she was like, "Oh yeah, you can play softball." And I was a catcher as well for a number of years. So I would argue that's much more dangerous than hockey.
Big time. That just killed. When she told me, I just shook my head. I was like, you gotta be
I mean, I think back then, right? I mean, the women's hockey wasn't as competitive, like in a sense, wasn't as physical as it is now. They're a lot more physical now, the way they play each other.
Lots of rules about like no body checking and that sort of thing. And everybody still wears a full face mask, right?
Exactly.
Full protection. I mean, I think, coming up into the future, I even think that the NHL is going to be going with full face masks. I mean, that's a whole nother story, but I mean,
I don't know about that.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but it's a generation that's being raised that way now, right? So, I mean, it you know what, if they're going to start hitting and they're going to really start going boarding, and boarding is going to become a big issue where people are hitting their heads and stuff, I feel like they're going to go full out. If you're breaking jaws,
you know what, you could be. You're right. I could kind of see that maybe a possibility, but I think the players will put a stink up about that because some of them are already, except for the newer kids that are growing up, but the ones that are grandfathered in and stuff like that, they're already complaining. I know about even the visors. Some of them were having a hard time with the visors.
But at one point, those guys are going to be gone too.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you're right. And then it'll be just something that's you don't know any better, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was only like 5 players, I think, in the NHL now who don't wear visors. I mean, like they wear them kind of stupidly, right? Like they're tilted up.
But no, you're right. There actually are a few that have like none at all. Like none at all. Yeah.
That's exactly it. I think Ryan Reeves is ironically one of them.
Is he? Yeah, he might be. Yeah.
He can take it. I don't think I've seen him have one either.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys that can really fight, they don't like to have that on there.
And I also remember when they started grandfathering in the helmet rule, where you had to wear a helmet. And I remember, I think it was Brad Marsh. Was it Brad Marsh? I think was the last one to hold out, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think he was the last one. Yeah, I think he was the last one that was playing to be the only one to play without a helmet. And then after that, then the helmets were mandatory. And now it's visors mandatory. And like you said, JT, very well could be in the future. I don't know how much further down, but it could be where, cages are mandatory.
Totally.
Well, they're trying to get rid of a lot more hitting and stuff like that too. So maybe not, but there's accidents that happen all the time. I mean, you get a puck to the face, you're not so pretty.
Constantly.
We've seen that pucks to the face sticks alone are one thing, right? But when you get a puck or a skate to the face accidentally, that's a big fucking you know what I mean? Like that's a scar for life. And these little pretty boys that are coming up in the hockey league,
these model hockey players,
they don't want to. They don't want to ruin their faces.
Yeah, it's like in football now. We saw a whole bunch of players wearing those Guardian caps. Those
I noticed that
pillow hats on top of their helmets. And
does that really make a difference? Do you think?
So I've seen the stats on it. Apparently, it's quite the reduction in concussion potential anyway. But it's one of those things where players like Tua Tagovailoa, who has a history of concussions. Like realistically, he should be wearing one, right? But it wouldn't surprise me going forward if they became more prevalent in the league, and then it just became commonplace to wear them, not unlike visors or helmets in the first place, right?
Well, I've even noticed that like you still have like your old school helmets, a couple left around. Like I know what's his name there for the Jets, Aaron Rodgers still has kind of like a old school style type, right. And then you get the new ones that are like completely there, pure visor, like just like Darth Vader looking, right? So
totally.
I guess they've come a long way since
you could have been an athlete by now.
She could have been. She could have been playing on the women's Team Canada.
Is that Allison taking shots or what?
No. She's speaking the truth on that one.
I even said the same thing. He doesn't pull punches.
No, exactly. So
was that like the jealous in the sister? Was that your sister, right?
Yeah, that's my sister. No jealousy, but she would expect a free ride. She would expect me to foot the bill if that were the case. So.
You're making a great decision. Ah, shit, yeah. That's awesome. Absolutely, James.
I still can't understand, but how those actual things work. Like, why by putting on a basically looks like a fucking cloth onto your helmet to make you look like you
a
got a
sock or something, isn't it? What is
it? Padded
football,
or is it to like brush off easier?
Padded, yeah. It's extra padding. So any extra padding is going to protect your head from injury, right? But I'm not really sure about the engineering, behind them. But in terms of the breakdown of whether they're protective or effective or whatever, they do seem to work. So at least it's better than not having one.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, especially if you have a history of, I was just going to say, especially if you have a history of concussions and several of them. Totally. I mean, I even know like with my team, the Saints, I know with Olave, he was out pretty much the entire season because of that. And then he finally was able to come back, I think, with maybe 2 games remaining. And that one game he came back, boom, got hit again, and he was out. That was it for his season. So I guess
it was a big missing piece for you guys this year too.
Oh, there was a lot. I mean, Carr was out for the longest time. Even Hills are huge. Hill for the longest time has never really, knock on wood, had never really been injured. And this year he was gone for several. And that hurt us big time because he's basically the jackknife of the team. Like he can play almost anything and he gets it done. And unfortunately there was a lot of major injuries for us, and then near the trade deadline we unfortunately got rid of Lattimore, and he went to your Commanders there, JT, and so we lost out on him too. So but so I guess if it's all padded and properly, I guess I could see that it could maybe help a little bit on the
Well, I learned a lot this year about how, I mean, that's if you ask Rob, when I talk about football with him, usually when we're not doing something like this show, I'll always talk to him about the concussions and how they work and how these guys now, the technology they wear on their equipment can tell the stats right up there in a split second so that they get blown off and they get blown off. Yeah, I wish they all got blown off. But they get whistled down, whistled down and they take them before the next
take off into the tent. Then absolutely.
I always like to know what goes on in that tent, honestly. Like, I mean, you get a little bit of
I'm sure they got their secret little
maybe they do get pulled off
methods and stuff like that. Like I'm like I don't know whether they give them like shots of cortisone or something, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like you kind of wonder what. I think it's mostly just so that everybody, like the prying eyes of TV and such.
Yeah,
just
so you don't see
really
it
see exactly what injury it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure to like keep competing as well. Like they do it to themselves. They're so competitive internally, but then kind of external pressures too. Like, are my teammates going to look at me differently? Is the coaching staff going to look at me differently? Is ownership going to kick my butt out of here because I said I've had a concussion and was concerned about my health, right? So there's a lot of factors that go into that. But I think if it's just a like questionnaire kind of based system, a lot of players probably know how to beat it.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're not stupid. I'm sure they've
played a tough ass sport. So you know what, these guys can handle a little bit of pain. But when you have to physically see them, like let's say you got to get your shoulder pop back in, that's not a pretty look or a pretty sound, let alone.
No.
Right.
No.
So I mean,
hockey is tough, but since watching football, man, I give those guys huge props. I've seen some hits. I have no idea how these guys are getting back up and walking away from them.
When you get a hit like from here and then from here at the same time.
Well, that's that one that we didn't know what it was called. And you told us, what was that one called again?
Oh, a chop block. Yeah.
Which one? What is it?
A chop block.
A chop block. Yes, that's block, right. Yeah. That shit was nasty, man. That was nasty. Yeah, when I saw that.
Trying to bifurcate someone, like cut him in half.
Cut him in half. Yeah, no shit.
You literally, you're gonna mess up that spinal cord for the rest of its life.
Yeah.
If you're not getting hit properly, if you can't take that hit properly, if you took it standing up straight, right, face on and back, right, like you're gonna really mess up somebody's lower back. I think I'll be honest with you. I think if it was more side motion, you got a little bit more bending room. You know what I mean? Like hip, if somebody got hit in the hip and then the upper chest the other way, right? You get a little bit more of a play. But I mean, back to forth, I don't think it's as especially if you
that'd be painful.
Nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. Even the lighter ones will knock the wind out of you, right?
Oh, hell yeah. They got to. Yeah, exactly. Which I think is why some of them do stay on the ground for like that. And you're thinking, well, are you real? And then they get up and walk away. Well, like, oh, you weren't injured. Well, no, it's because I needed like a couple minutes so I can breathe again and catch my breath. Yeah, because the wind was knocked out of them. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, getting kicked in the nuts. And then, you get that whole diaphragm. I'm just the only way I can explain it good enough is where you get that diaphragm thing. Where,
oh my God, your analogies.
Your lungs just keep, keep going through. It's I think so.
Your life flash before your eyes.
Yeah. No shit.
It stops the breathing. It literally stops the breathing for a second, and it really, your whole life could flash before your eyes. Mine take it longer than that, but I'd be on the ground for a while.
So Super Bowl 59, unbelievable. Did you expect it to go the way it went? Kathleen, did you expect it to go the way it went?
So here's the thing. I expected the Chiefs to get their asses handed to them earlier in the season than they did. But I mean, they were playing the best defense in the league. If it was going to happen in any game, it was going to happen against the Eagles. But it certainly showed the lack of creativity, I would say, on the Chiefs' offense. Like, they managed to really pick apart the offensive line of the Chiefs, firstly. Like, it's like they weren't even there. And I read a stat as well. So apparently the Eagles didn't blitz not once in that whole game. And they had that much pressure on Mahomes.
No shit.
6 sacks. That's crazy.
They were like
I know. That was unbelievable. Yes.
That was,
I never seen Mahomes get hit that much.
It was excellent.
I think I also heard that it wasn't until the third quarter till they finally got past half, like the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
I've never seen them play that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
They weren't getting the calls I think that they're used to either. I think.
Yeah,
I
don't think it, to be honest with you, I don't think it was the calls they were used to. I don't think it was the calls that they were used to. I think, to be honest with you, the Eagles were just playing a more solid game when it came to out of the penalty, like getting the penalties and stuff like that, right? Wonderful, like this. They they imploded like from inside. It's almost like they were shitting their pants really at the end of the day when they started getting hit like that. And you get, right off the bat, you're getting pick sixes and you're getting interceptions and you're getting, Jalen Hurts basically doing Jalen Hurts. I've never seen him play like that all year.
Oh,
he was even better than Barkley.
Yeah. I think
they had Barkley covered.
Yeah, the Eagles' offense was very, very good yesterday. Very, very good.
We've very, very rarely seen fucking Kelsey and Taylor Swift, because you can't pan to that fairy tale story because it ain't working out tonight.
Nobody has a smile on their face, right? There's really,
now he's gonna retire.
Like, how do you prepare for failure when you haven't really failed very much, especially on such a big stage, right? So for things to start to unravel for Mahomes and company there, it really goes to show the lack of resiliency and, I would say, like, veteran presence in the, like, on the bench, right? He just sat there kind of like a crybaby. It was really interesting to see. To be honest,
he looks more like a crybaby than anybody else.
Like a crybaby, like, pull your head out and try to do something creative now, right?
Yeah,
you've been bested on like several several different plays now. Like it's not like they didn't try different things on offense, that sort of thing, but they needed more, right? They needed more creativity, and it just wasn't there. So
no, absolutely, you're right. And I mean, it just the way I looked at it, I was hoping it to be a bit of a closer game, not quite a blow like that. Would have been a little bit more exciting if it was at least a bit closer. I mean,
I wouldn't have minded 3-peat because it would have been history. Honestly,
that's what I was going to say. I mean, if it was a legit refed proper game, which actually it pretty much was. I have to give it. It was it was not ref well. Perfect. So if they had pulled it off and actually won as a 3-peat, then you know what? At least we got to see history. And yes, it was properly ref. But I still am happy though that the Eagles won, because that's that's kind of what I wanted was the Eagles. Just to
Neeks me, he's been saying this for a while too, that to be honest with you, that it would have been for history for NFLers and anybody who's watched football to have a 3-peat. But this league is, what I find too, that the thing with the 3-peat is a lot harder to do in football because guys age and they get beaten up pretty quick with stuff like that. So the guys that have been doing consistently, I mean, it does take a toll on you. For the third season to come back and try to do it one more time is a lot harder than it would be, let's say, in hockey, or if it would be in any other sport.
That's true.
Lots of moving parts too. You get some injuries to a few key players, and it's game over.
That hurts.
Right? It just it's hard to recover from them.
There were several teams like in even during the season. Like, I mean, I know the 49ers were supposed to be better than what they were, but they had a lot of major injuries as well. And
definitely,
it's just there's a few surprise teams too. Like, I mean,
when you start off with injuries and you have to work through them, and those injuries aren't, some of these injuries that you have to go through are not a 6-week or a 16-week process. You know what I mean? They're maybe a 2-year process. A lot of these are serious injuries.
Depending on what injury it is. And I mean, and it's not like hockey where you're playing like 2, 3, occasionally 4 times a week, but mostly 2 to 3 times a week. You're playing once a week. So, I mean, you start to get injuries and you lose, 3, 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
It puts you behind the 8 ball and you're screwed, right? So,
and depending on your position too, like if you're a wide receiver and you get injured, there's a lot more to learn and come back from during that time than, some of the other positions, right? So it's hard to kind of equate injuries too. Like if you got an injury to your punter, that's one thing. They fulfill a very specific role on the team, right? But if you're also coming back and you're trying to memorize different schemes, different plays after like 4 or 5 weeks worth of time. Like that whole schematic has changed on you too. So it's just something even more to add to the, to the injury list, right? So it's hard.
Wow.
You know, the one thing I really missed about coming to you guys' house for the Super Bowl this year, Rob, is I really wanted to give it to all you Steelers fans, right?
There are some funny pictures of us like all lined up in a row, all of our Steelers stuff, wishful thinking.
And then you get the odd one out that's like my sister and then me. Everybody else is Steelers. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I wanted to be honest with you, I wanted to rag on you guys because last year, I was a little bit more, it was a little bit more shy for me and stuff like that. I'm still getting used to but this year I have a team. I've decided where I'm going and which teams I had my hands up in the air with the Houston and with Washington, right? Because I just have I got a little bit of history with Washington because of a close member of, I'll say, my family. And then also with my nephew's been following Washington a lot with the new quarterback, which is Jaden Daniels. They got the same sort of name. They got the same first name. So that solidified it for me. But one of my uncles that passed away, he was a Redskins fan, right? And I can't really say that anymore. But honestly, when he was a fan, that's what they were named. I get it. And I decided, I'm gonna either gonna be Houston or it was gonna be Washington. Like I was keeping my eye on those two teams because last year, the first original year when I started watching when Stroud came out as a rookie, I was really into Stroud, right? But when I seen Jaden Daniels came onto the scene this year, after I seen a couple plays of things and stuff of him in college ball, I said this kid's phenomenal. And then
so dynamic.
I am just so happy. Well, it's funny because I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, I had to put that one up right away because that's so full. That's so true. Because now you got a little bit more knowledge. You're going to be just full of shit still there.
Nico knows how to understand what I'm saying.
That's the problem. The more football you watch, the more you think you know, and then the more they disappoint you, and the more you just think to yourself, "Man, I don't know jack shit about football." Like
that's right. Nico knows. JT 3.0. I'm coming out of a cannon. You should have seen me.
Yeah.
I shot out of a cannon. Reincarnated. Yeah.
Look out now. But no, you were missed at the party yesterday. It was great.
It probably wouldn't have been good either because I probably would have came in there with this attitude yesterday because I went to Nico's house shaking. That's how much. That's what kind of vibe I was on.
Oh, yeah, because you're
those fucking steroids.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. But I mean, I shot out of a cannon, and I'm back. And I told Nico, I said, people don't like to hear the real me. You know what? I'm back, and that's all there is to it. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't have to play no fucking character. You know what? I'm just gonna be JT because you know what? I realized JT is this shit, and that's my narcissism in me, guys. So just to let you guys know all here on the channel, and if you guys haven't known, now you know.
Oh, Allison, you kill me.
But honestly,
we
just like
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, JT.
No, I want to hear the secret. I'd rather hear a secret.
Only because Allison was doing so well in the pool during the year that we honestly didn't know whether she's just picking things out of her ass every week, genuinely speaking, or if she's actually paying attention, but she's pretending like she's not paying attention.
I don't know which it is.
Like, playing it cool, but she's actually in there like reviewing stats and all this kind of stuff.
Because she did well. She did well this season.
But, she said straight up, run your mouth.
I love it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, it's called playing stupid, man. You know what? Words I live by. Eh? You know what it is? You got to be smart to act stupid, buddy. Cheers to that.
Very clear.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, hey, I mean, I don't even think I won a week this year. I mean, I know you guys.
I made my money back, so I'm good.
Kathleen, you did too.
I won 1 week, yeah.
And I think JT won
my dad from winning that week, I think.
I was second a couple times, 2 or 3 times I was second. Allison won, I think, first several times as well.
She got at least
you guys can blame Nico, You guys can blame Nico on me because for the first little while, I was playing it with the stats. I was playing it with like a point
Yeah.
spread sort of thing, knowledge in my head, because I'm not really a gambler, to be honest with you. I don't know this. I watch my younger nephew do point spread and do money lines and stuff like that, and I have no fucking clue what that means. I have no idea. I'm not a gambler, thank God, because if I was, I would be either rich or I'd be fucking broke.
Poor. Exactly. Yeah.
It's always one or the other.
Yeah, it's one or the other. There's no in between with that shit, man.
Gambling for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I like this one now. He started telling me to play a certain way because you're playing for wins and losses. You're not playing, and you got to play like for sure things. And I feel like that's why he bet the way he did yesterday when it came to the pool, right? Is because he thought it was he was good, and it would have been nice to see, but he thought it was a for sure solidified thing in a sense, right? So I mean, I'm not speaking 100% for him, but it's the truth. What is he saying?
Joe, he says you're better off for it.
What, for listening to Nico?
No, for the betting to not be a better. The
gambling. Avoiding the betting.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Is that your Joe?
This is exactly it right here. Yeah, it's Joe. Yeah. See, the more
the more you know, the worse it gets. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure.
It's scary because I'm starting to see it, and I'm looking. I was at the casino when I almost dropped $100 on Washington that night, like literally to hit the point spread or even just to win. No, to win when it came to where was that? When was I? The 2 weeks before the Super Bowl was away against the Eagles. I was gonna. And then when I started it, I was like. It wasn't even for the Eagles. It was the one before. It was prior to that one too. No, and I could have won I could have won.
Oh, Detroit. When they beat Detroit in Detroit.
Yeah.
Because that's I think when the Montreal-Toronto game was on that day at the same time, right? And I was like, oh, fuck, Montreal was getting beat by Toronto. Fuck this shit, right? At first, it was we were winning, and then they were getting beat. But then,
you guys were up 3-0, and then we came back with 7 unanswered goals.
I remember it was 6-3 at the end of that.
7.
7.
Yeah, it was 7. Yeah, we got the 3. I was like, we were in the middle of watching a concert, and I'm like, you know what? I'll put my phone down. I was like, I don't need to see it because they're up 3-0 already. And then next thing I know, I keep looking at my phone, refreshing it during the concert, and I'm like, what the fuck am I missing? And I just want to go out into the casino and see what the hell was going on, right?
Oh shit! Too funny, man.
But no. The Detroit one, that one, I wanted to do it, but I was like, no, Detroit's the number 1 seed in their conference. They were the home field, and when Washington took them out, if I would have put $100 on that game, right, I think I would have fucking walked out of there with a pretty penny that day because they were the underdogs by a
they were. They thought Detroit was.
They were significant underdog, I think. Yeah,
you're right.
It's best not to dwell. Not
exactly. That's right. Absolutely.
That's what makes you. Then that's what'll turn you into a real gambler and then an addiction, and then you're just in trouble.
Yeah.
But I will admit that you have your picks this season, like this year in the pool, were much better after JT had told you about how to use the numbers.
Nico told me. I'm JT.
Oh yeah, hey GT, how are you? Sorry, I'm just
whoever the hell you are. Yeah,
I know whoever the hell you are, and whoever the hell told you. Definitely, your picks were definitely better once Nico told you about the number system on how like go low on whatever and go higher on. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because I was still looking at points. Yeah, I was always looking at that point spread with you're getting 1.5 points, and I'm like, okay, how do you bet on something like this when you can? It's not even a field goal. I mean, it's a field goal on that. It's a field goal and a half, or not even a field goal and a half. Half a field goal, 1.5, right? Like, how do you get that point spread? I always tried to wonder how that worked. In my head, I couldn't figure out the math. Like, it just wasn't working to me. And then my nephews, started telling me, look, if you put the money line on, this is what it means. And then you relate it to a money percentage instead of a point spread percentage, in a sense of how much you would win if you were. So it made more sense to me that way. But with the confidence points, it's basically like, you gotta, which one, for sure is going to win that game. I mean, you never know who's going to win a fucking game. Any given Sunday, Rob keeps telling me the same thing, right?
True. So true.
And that's actually going to be our new upcoming, movie cast. So if you guys want to check it out, if you remember how corny that movie was, guys, we're going to be doing a podcast on that. So make sure to check it out any given Sunday, right?
Lovely segue. Lovely.
But honestly, yeah, I have to do it the right way. I have to. It flows out like diarrhea a lot of the times.
Exactly.
Excuse me for my horrible cough.
Are you freezing or is it me?
Who knows? I'm not freezing. I look sexy over my end.
You both look fine, yeah. It's like one of those work Zoom meetings. Can you hear me? Is everything fine?
Yeah, exactly. I know it is.
Are you plugged in? Are you plugged in wirelessly or not, Rob?
I got no idea, man. I don't
exactly.
Know
so why even go? Why even?
That's why I said it's probably me.
Don't stress out. It's got nothing. It's not affecting your talk. We can still hear you.
All right.
Everybody still knows what you're doing. Freezing, all it does is a lot of the times it's a computer not able to catch up with itself. You won't freeze on our end. I'm the one holding the chat. I'm the one holding the basically holding the recording and then holding everything down. We're all individually using our own thing, so we'll all be fine. You're just getting it because you're getting the comments like crazy on the chat. They're going through the roof, right? So don't worry about that.
That's good. Yeah, no,
I always like to calm them down. So you calm them down.
It's good.
It's just I never know. I'm not a tech guy, so it's like usually I'm not JT's the one that's he's got to talk me through on how to hook everything up. It's like
no, make sure that I'm hooked up anyway. I've put Nico through the ringers to teach me how to do this, to do it, and try to learn it.
Yeah, I know that.
So much.
If you could tell me, well, it becomes a fucking game and a half, like just of learning how to do the podcasting, right? So, but look at these guys; they're going off in here, eh? See, it's all about 2 inches. That's what life's about. 2 inches, right? You know how to work 2 inches, don't you, buddy?
Yeah.
Right?
Jesus.
I can work an inch and a half, buddy.
There you go.
I will say it's so cool. It's so cool to see people get into football, especially because it's one of those things like it's kind of polarizing. Like people who like it really, really love it, and then people who don't like it are really staunch against it, right? So it's nice to see newcomers to football. It's nice to see people get passionate about football and like choose their own teams and figure out what it is that you like about it, right?
Yeah,
and find the
exactly.
that get a fire burning under you and that sort of thing, right? Like it's just one of those things where the Commanders inspire you, JT, now, and like watching CJ Stroud, come up with Houston and everything. Like they're exciting teams to watch. And Uncle Rob,
it's going to be a whole new generation of quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Uncle Rob, when you started watching football too, like Drew Brees was still playing. Like he's a generational talent quarterback. Like stand-up dude, and like altogether just was New Orleans football for years.
And that's what I was. It was more a lot of the interviews too that I watched Brees in, and I just the type of a. I don't know. It's just the type of a guy he was. Like he's a stand-up type guy. He did a lot of charity work and just listening and to the way he was talking. So that's when I just started watching a little bit of football. I started following him a little bit more. And then again, once you guys started doing the pool and everything, I thought, okay, I'll, just for fun, I want to join, the family pool thing or whatever. And then all of a sudden I found that once I joined the pool, then all of a sudden it was like every Sunday, Thursday night, Monday, it was just like, I got to watch to see like where I'm at, what the standings are. And, it's just, to me, I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
It's fantastic.
No, Kathleen, you know what? I literally stream it, the Red Zone off my phone, and I'll watch 4 games at once. Like I can't.
He's hooked.
Yeah. Not everybody likes the Red Zone plays and stuff. You gotta love the Red Zone plays. I know it's fun to watch a full game. Don't get me wrong. I do like to watch a full game, especially like on a Friday or Thursday night or a Monday when they have just a one game. I enjoy watching that. Trust me. But when it comes to Sunday, and you got to watch 4, 5, 6 games that are playing at the same time, the Red Zone is perfect for that. Like it helps me for the ADHD. It helps me. It keeps me focused on all those games, right? And I will literally sit with my legs crossed watching it for hours on my phone. I've told Rob, I've sat there. I have I like my little quiet space, which is the washroom fucking floor. I'll sit there. I put
why in the washroom? I have no idea, which is very bizarre to me.
Very comfortable there.
I don't need any. You know what? It's a quiet place. I mean, I don't need a quiet place. I've got quiet places all around me here. Like I'm the only one here, right? To be honest with you. So there's a lot of quiet places. But to be honest, for some reason, it's always been my go-to for a quiet zone and just time to myself to even think, man. I'll sit there and I can just sit and think about things, listen to some music. But you got everything you need beside around you, every necessity you need. You got your toilet, you got your sink. If you need a glass of water, you want to take a quick shower, you're ready to go. Yeah,
exactly. Good Lord.
What? I'm being honest, guys. I'm being honest.
Hey, I appreciate the honesty, but wow, man.
You like put a towel, down on the floor first, like a wee bit of cushion, or
yeah. Damn, yeah, but that's a toilet. It's in the car. That's true.
Yeah,
that's it.
Everything in the
car. I like that.
Too.
No, but there's something about the coziness, being in this the tight space. I would survive. I keep telling these guys, you guys want to throw me in a jail?
I'm okay with that too. Yeah,
be my guest. As long as it's got the toilet there and that's it. Like, I mean, I don't need anything. I can entertain myself. Right? I don't need very much. I can be put in jail and not worry about it.
When the lid's closed, it's a seat, it's fine.
If I can get a mini fridge for the fucking thing,
there you go. That's exactly what Joe said. You know what? That would be damn good, man.
Dude, I have already a mini fridge, period, but not one that would fit in the washroom. It's too small. If I had a mini fridge for even the car too, like some of those cars have the glove box and it's got a little cooler thing in it and whatever. I don't need it. The mini fridge. I can go away. You can get away with it like in the car. I got enough room to pack stuff in the car, anyways. If it's cold out, I'd say like a fridge, anyways. I'll put some cold stuff in the trunk. But I basically live in there anyways. Even though there's very few places. I don't need big spaces. I need one room. This is a life of living a single. For years, I was living a single guy, right? So you don't need nothing. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You don't have to explain why there's a mess on the fucking floor over there. You guys can see it every fucking show. It doesn't change.
Anybody walks past, they're like, "Oh, it's just the sweet sounds of football in there,"
That's right. That's right. The sweet sounds of football in there. Oh shit! Yeah.
But seriously, mini fridge. Like a mini fridge. I need one of those.
Yeah. One of the smaller ones. Yeah, it's the little like Han Solo frozen in carbonite kind of.
Oh yes, you have that.
They're way big. You totally fit.
They have one. It's awesome.
The mini fridge in there or whatever you fancy.
It's very cool. Yeah.
Stack them differently. You probably get more.
Well, actually, getting back to the red zone and stuff like that, when I come over to watch the games at your place, Kathleen, that's usually, of course, I have no choice because we're at their house. The Steelers get the big TV, and then she'll put my Saints on the little TV beside it, which is the computer, right?
A little TV with no sound.
That's right. Without I don't even get sound. So, but once the game's over and we watch the next one, then that little TV becomes the red zone TV. Which is actually really cool because you could actually then watch whatever the next game is and then still keep an eye on the red zone. And usually there's not as many games at the 4:31. And that way, usually there's like 3 or 4. So you get to see all of them on the red zone. And yeah, you're right, JT. The red zone is fantastic as well. Yeah.
So, it's a lot nicer. Yeah. The red zone at 4:30 is the one that I love the most. Because it's just a handful of games. You get to see a little bit more of them, but then if they kind of suck, you pivot to one of the other ones anyway. So it's the best time slot for red zone, in my opinion. But even so, the one at 1:00 with the 8 games or whatever it is that are going on at once, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It was such a good idea they had to do that. I don't know. I think it's got to be like
basically like a Zoom call, really.
For now, that idea, maybe 20 years old now.
Wow. Yeah, but it helps spawn like some certain things like this, like a YouTube channel where you have Zoom calls, you have meetings. It's basically the same thing. You're just putting different things on and you're streaming them all at the same time, and then you're just picking what you want to watch at that moment, right? Somebody's clicking on the screen and they start talking about that red zone at that moment, right? So ultimately, you're gonna see all 8 of those games, let's say, at one point in there. But if you want to watch, like, let's say the Steelers game, the Washington game, the Saints game, you can have it on another TV onto the side and watch it by itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you would think that a lot of the generation now would enjoy it more because of their short
Memory
time.
span?
No,
their attention span. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I got a short attention span, but then mine doesn't go into like what my nephews I see, like the younger generation, like that, 14 and younger, or 19 and younger. When I see generation like that, they have no attention span whatsoever. Like they're, it's just scrolling stuff. But they're learning. They're still seeing everything that's going on, which is crazy because they've learned that way. That's why I think the red zone is probably the best thing that they've come out with in the last, like you said, Kathleen, in what, 20 years? Maybe it's been out.
It's getting up there now. It's been out for quite a while. They've had red zone.
I think they just perfected it, right?
Yeah. No, it's really good. It's really good. It was a fantastic idea when it was started. But I can't recall the name of the guy who hosts it, but he fancies himself pretty hardcore. Like, he doesn't go to the bathroom and like drink he drinks a can of Red Bull beforehand, and then he's just wired the whole time.
Wired, ready to go. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
if you're gonna talk like that for that red zone, you need to be wired.
Right? Absolutely.
You would.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. No, you would definitely have to, man, for sure. But no, like I said, the Super Bowl, I do wish it was a little bit closer in score. I mean, they did come back a little bit at the the third and fourth quarter or whatever, but other than that, it was just
drinks his own.
It was boring. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's
just.
Sure. Yeah,
I was really hoping it was a bit closer. I really do.
Yeah. Well, you always hope for a close game in the Super Bowl. I think we've been spoiled the past several years because the games have been pretty close.
Extremely close, yeah. I mean, what was it? 2 years ago, it was only 34-32 or something, like with the KC and the Eagles. Like, it was super close. Like, that was like nail biter. That's the type of games that are great.
Yeah.
This is a revenge game. You knew this was either going to come out tight and long, like a big scoring game, and a tight game. But to be honest with you, when you think about it, this game was better off playing like this because you knew you needed to see Kansas City get their ass handed to them. Finally,
they needed to be humbled a little.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly the right wording. Yeah, you're right.
I think all the talk about the refs and shit, I think got to their head. Right.
Well, for the last two games since the Buffalo game, it's been
nonstop. It's been nonstop. We were talking about one troller that got into all of the pregame meetings and all the questions and stuff. And he had asked Kelsey, like, "Oh, what do you love more, Taylor Swift or Phantom 15-yard roughing the passer?"
I love it. He wouldn't even entertain it.
Like, oh, next question.
Yeah, at least Mahomes entertained it, and he played along with it a little bit because they were doing the same thing where they were asking which ref was going to get the special Christmas card this year and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and he played along a little bit with it where Kelsey he just shut it right down. He just kind of, next question.
Next question. Yeah.
You gotta, I mean, shit, come on. It's been, especially when you have that week in between where everything's off, the memes just kept growing and growing and growing. Like, it was just insane.
I don't pay attention to memes like everybody does. I only see them when people end up posting them or sharing them. I couldn't even tell you where to find them. I know if you go on Instagram and stuff like that, you can.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They post it everywhere quick, right? But there's people out there that can come out with memes and stuff like that, like quick. And I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck did you get this so quick? Where did you find this from? Right? Because
that's true.
It's so true, Jamie.
It is. You absolutely should bang on, man. Like, that's you would think with that kind of, especially that kind of money that, I wish I'll have, like I said, I give it to Mahomes, man, because he did play along a little bit with it about, I can't remember what his answer was. It was something like, well, I guess, I'll see what kind of Christmas cards or whatever it was. I can't remember. But
he did come up with something though. I remember.
At least he did. Where with Kelsey, he just shut the damn thing right down and wouldn't even acknowledge anything, right?
Yeah, and they get asked the stupidest questions during that interview week too.
Sure, they do.
I
think all sports people do. Sports people, I think, absolutely hate being interviewed just because it's absolutely ridiculous. Some of the questions that people, there's good questions. Don't get me wrong. There's good journalists, good questions that are asked. Sometimes, maybe it's a little, you don't want to have to really answer some of the questions, but it's the stupid ones. It's like, come on, man, give your head a shake. Like, why would you,
But hey, the stupid ones are what make the fucking world go round, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Ultimately, the ones who end up cheating, right? Like,
yes, exactly. And speaking of memes and all that shit, another thing that I had no clue about from last night was how many Easter eggs there were in that Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, don't even get me going with that one.
Holy shit. I had no clue. Because we were all sitting there, we're like, well, who's the girl in red that came out? Like, I don't really know Kendrick Lamar. I know maybe one or two of his songs or whatever. He's not really
taking shots at Toronto. You know that, you guys?
Oh, yeah, I know. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Well, it's more he's taking shots at Drake is what he's doing. It was all about Drake. All the shots are at Drake.
Yeah,
it's a Toronto thing.
I'll admit, like, I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan. I didn't follow the whole Drake Kendrick Lamar feud thing. I didn't know what it was about, like, that sort of thing, right? But I'll admit, like, everything that's come out now today explaining the nuance of
it makes sense.
I appreciate it 100% more than I did yesterday when I saw it. I was disappointed that I didn't recognize Serena Williams. Because I didn't even know what Serena Williams looks like. But she was on screen for like a hot second and then disappeared. And I think we were all complaining to pay much attention. So
it was like I said, it makes a lot more sense now that I've seen all these Easter eggs and it's been explained to me. Well, that's just it. For people who really don't know, James, you're absolutely right. Like I said, we were all sitting there and we had no friggin' clue. And we were just like, okay,
Well, there was that they weren't going to come on with that song because it's the song. It's the song that he kept playing with in the whole intro. In the whole Super Bowl thing was the song that he's talking about. Drake being a pedophile, and there's a big, and you were wondering if the Super Bowl had told him not to say something about it or what was going on, if he was going to, because he kept teasing it throughout the song. If you would have listened, if you would have heard the music, the performance I thought was great. I mean, with the whole way that they all came out,
it was kind of cool. Yeah,
it did look cool. I like the American flag, motif, and Samuel Jackson is obviously the best. So
it helped big time. Yeah, the Samuel Jackson. I did that actually for the real. I put him up there in the middle because to be honest with you, it was something to be remembered because he's just just to see him, and even just as he's getting older too. It's nice to see a guy like that get his recognition, even in the Super Bowl and the wear his Star Spangled Banner sort of outfit that he had going on there with his top hat looked like a fucking Monopoly character. But I mean, it played out really good, especially for being in Louisiana and for down south. I don't know if that's where he's from. I don't know if that's where Samuel Jackson is from.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. Because he does have sort of an accent to him when you can hear him.
It's it's possible. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know that stat, right? But I mean,
our eager followers here, quick Google search will help us. Where born? Where
usually that's Allison. Usually Allison's on it like that. Come on, Allison, you're slipping.
Like that. Right? No, it's a little delay going.
But the one thing I did now,
sorry, there was two things that I thought were funny because I didn't realize how short that guy was. Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for a meme to be put out today, like, where's Kendrick? You know how they did that little Drake thing where they put him on top of the CN Tower and whatever, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were going to come out because with the colors and stuff, it works out. Oh, Caleb Daniels, that's our secret supporter there. You know what?
Oh, nice.
I'll tell you right now, Caleb Williams could have shown. It could have been the fucking rookie of the year this year too.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not mistaken, if it was his first year this year, Caleb Williams, right? He just didn't have the team behind him, right?
Yeah.
But if you see, what was the other one? The Jaden Daniels. The only reason why I think he took it all the way too, this name threw me off and it took me off course there. If you guys did not notice that, I went from talking
Washington.
There you go. That's the reason for the Star Spangled Banner outfit.
Apropos as well. Yeah.
There you go. Thanks.
Yeah,
that's
very nice.
So yeah, she did the research for me.
Yeah. That's all right. Allison wasn't paying attention, so that's okay. We'll forgive her this time.
we'll forgive you this time, Allison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually she's like, boom, before you even have it. You know, you can't even have the sentence done, and she's already, it's blah 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 blah. So
back to that thing. Christine said it the best yesterday. She said that the halftime show reminded her of like a Squid Games. You know, in a sense.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen that, but I kind of get what you're saying.
The American Game Show one's coming on soon too, right? So I think that was a good thing that they maybe played it out that way. I don't think that was intentional, right?
But that I didn't know.
There's a lot of like political undertones to the performance. That's for sure.
The majority of those people that were all dressed up, they were all rival gang members.
Oh,
I didn't think about that.
I just got a thing on that. Yeah, somebody had sent it to me. I don't even know who the heck sent it to me. I think it was Michelle that sent it to me. And I was playing it, and that's exactly what the guy was saying. It's like, it's basically they're trying to, in Compton and everything, because that's where everybody's pretty much from, is from Compton and everything, that it's it was two different types of gang type people, and they've actually come together for this performance with Kendrick Lamar, and there's a lot more to it. I like I said, I just quickly had skimmed through it because I was sent like a million different things all on the Kendrick Lamar thing, like, you know, all these Easter eggs and stuff like that of what a lot of these meetings were, and even with the car, even with the Grand National, which I have to tell your Uncle Steve that I was right. It was a Grand National. Like he was taken home when he was born. He was taken home in a Grand National. So I had some significant meaning. You know what I mean? Like everything had meaning to it, right?
Yeah. There's a question posed there. I didn't even realize that. So what do you think there was your favorite NFL announcer of all time? Your forgotten NFL.
That would be more for Kathleen because, like I said, I'm new at this. So
Sam Rosen is a great choice.
I can't stand fucking Tom Brady. I'm sorry.
Most people can't.
He's better. He's better than some, but like I don't know. It's gotten to the point where when I hear games called by Tom Brady, it just it's triggering. It's triggering as a Steelers fan. That's all I have to say. But
Now I can't remember his name, but for me, it's the guy that sounds like Howard Stern.
Guy who sounds.
It's usually I think it's Thursday nights that he's on or something like that. He's an older gentleman. I can't remember what his name is. The longer last name, but he sounds every time I hear it. Even Michelle says that she thinks it's Howard Stern, right? So
I wouldn't have.
I can't remember the name, but yeah. So.
No, one guy that I know pisses
a
lot of people off is Chris Collinsworth. He can't call a football game anymore.
Oh shit!
You know what? Yeah, honestly, I mean, quarterbacks and stuff like that are, you know,
nobody likes Tom Brady. Yeah.
they have like a Tom Brady has that look, and I don't know about so much about that the Tom Brady, like I don't know, but he's got that good old home style American look. Like I grew up like
Clark. Oh yeah, everybody loves it, right?
You see his watch?
Yeah, the what?
$749,000 for that.
Casually wearing yesterday.
That was a gift. That was probably a gift, bro. Like they
I don't care what it is. It's ridiculous. That's crazy, man.
Bro, that's a whole house on your fucking. That's a whole house on your wrist.
Oh yeah, and then some. Depending on where you're buying the house, it could be 5 houses.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. The thing I find interesting is that Tom Brady is a new announcer to the field, realistically, and he gets the Super Bowl call.
How is that?
I don't know how.
And isn't there a bit of a conflict of interest there, seeing on how he's kind of involved with the Raiders as well?
Oh yes, no, there absolutely is. So I saw an interview with Roger Goodell, who's the commissioner of the NFL, and he's been asked about this point in particular several times, because I guess people have the same question. Like, it's a conflict of interest. You're a partial owner of the Raiders now. How can you possibly call football games, so publicly, when you can start to put little bits in about, oh, that's a bad call from the refs, or I don't quite agree with that. It just, it opens yourself up to public scrutiny and for mistakes to be made and conflict of interest, obviously. And so Roger Goodell's defense of him was really cagey. But he had also pointed out that, Tom Brady's been doing a very good job. He always double checks with us. He wants to make sure that he's doing a good job, like that sort of thing. And I can't help but think it's just like it's all about a public persona at the end of the day. They're using his name. It's like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of, nepotism situation. But to Nico's point, no personality. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's I don't know whether you're going to see him next year or not. I mean, because I think more people are going to be jumping down the throat saying, like, how is this even possible, right? But
he's got to focus more on that Raiders team. They don't even know they don't even know what's going on that end anymore, right? They've been firing coaches. They've been trying to figure it out now. They need to figure something out there in Las Vegas.
It's possible, Anna, that could be the one. I don't know. All I know is he sounds exactly like Howard Stern, and I love it.
Michael sounds like Howard Stern, though.
Maybe it's not that one. I can't remember.
One in that tandem. So
I'll get it eventually. Don't worry. Like I said, this is all new to me. I'll eventually get all these names and everything and get everything.
Well, they said yesterday's game set a fucking record again. First of all, I didn't get to see all the I wasn't watching the US channel. We were watching TSN. We were watching legit TV, right?
I had it on the New Orleans channel. Yeah.
Yeah, you fucker. And yeah, but you know what's funny is because I was I was there at Nico's, and the funny part was when I was sitting there at Nico's, I needed to figure out, what the fuck. So I went out and I had a smoke. I was called my mom, and I can hear my brother, but they were like more than 30-second delay behind what we were watching.
Yeah.
Right. We were doing the same thing. They were watching it probably on a US channel. But they were like, remember when the Eagles got that catch where Buddy, what's his name? Where was Barkley? Is it Barkley that caught that one where it landed on his back and then it bounced up and he still held out?
It might be. I can't remember who
I
caught
don't remember.
That one.
Yeah. But
I do remember the play. Yeah.
Right. And I heard that like 60 seconds or something, if not more, after we had seen it already. Right. Yeah, it was Barkley. See, yeah,
it was Barkley. Okay. Yeah.
That was a beautiful, like, that's the way.
Oh, that
they should be sending that to Baltimore to show them, to show Baltimore how to catch a ball.
No, don't. Baltimore doesn't need to learn these lessons.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't want Baltimore. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't want Baltimore. Yeah, definitely not Cincinnati thing. Oh shit, yeah. I was gonna say something. Damn it, I don't remember what the hell it was now.
Yeah, the delay.
It must not have been important.
Oh, the delay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. When we were sitting there watching it, and I was talking to Wayne. Wayne was actually watching it on his a bit on his phone as well. And
Nico's a bandwagon jumper. He has no idea where he's going.
Yeah, Nico. Wayne said that there were like 2 plays ahead on his phone compared to the feed that we were watching, right? So Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know what team he like. I asked him that before. He's like he jumps around. I wasn't sure because I know he said Baltimore, and then I think at one point did he say Green Bay or something? I don't know. I was lost, but he is definitely a Baltimore. I know he's liked Baltimore before, but Baltimore's always
Baltimore's
okay. Fair
but
enough.
he was all around. He
That's
was
fine.
a Michael Vick fan. He was
Baltimore always my number one.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fair. Okay.
Well, he was a Mike. You can't even say that because he's like Atlanta. I mean, he's like, but Baltimore. Yeah, if he's gonna go for anything. Yesterday, I was surprised he didn't go for the Eagles.
Oh, sorry, wrong person. I was thinking of then. Green Bay. Shake my head.
No, he's not a Green Bay fan. He's never been.
There's somebody else I was thinking of. Then somebody did say they like Green Bay. I can't remember who it was.
He's been good at packing things, but he's not.
Yeah. Actually, that was
getting your head out of the gutter, Rob.
Yeah. Look who's talking. They're the only team that's owned by not like by an individual. Is that correct?
They're actually owned. Right. Yeah,
they're owned by the people.
By the people, like a conglomerate of individuals. Yeah, like committee. Ownership by committee, as opposed to by an individual. And
interesting.
It's the way that a lot of like European soccer clubs are.
It's actually better that way,
right? So theoretically, you always get a public voice in the decision making, right?
Yeah.
But that was Baltimore slash.
Green Bay's the only one that's like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I like getting them riled up. Now it's Baltimore slash.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
Wasn't Atlanta fan, not so much anymore. After Brady.
Jeez.
Oh my God. But Baltimore's Eagles, Buffalo. Now he's got a third team.
Actually, I do like following a bit of the Bills. Yeah, the list is like. Well, I also like this.
Right here.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to like multiple teams.
Multiple teams. Yeah, you can. You gotta have a number one though. You have to have a number one, but you could follow. That's the same thing. Like I do follow Steelers. I'll follow the Steelers. I'll follow Dallas, and I like the Bills, but Saints are my number one.
Well, I got a double already, right? So I mean, I do have already. I started with a double.
Well, yeah, because you do like Washington, you like Texas.
But I'm actually. That's why I'm looking forward to. Next year, I got invited into a player pool, right? Like so, where you do a draft as opposed to the way we do it. So, I mean, I could still do it the way we do it, but I could also get into that because I think my cousin Peter.
You really got to know your football then because you need to know players.
I've been statistic. This is the thing.
The bench and who to play and.
That's how I was kind of following how to study this pool was statistically like that. I was looking at. Overall percentages and stuff like that when it came to wins and losses, when it came to offense and it came to defense. I hadn't got so much into I hadn't got so much in depth into an actual player one, but I've been starting to follow all these quarterbacks, and I mean they're the easiest ones to kind of learn and to learn off of in the beginning because they are the like they're the star of the show at the point at a certain point. Everybody's looking at them in the beginning. Everybody's looking at them while they're throwing the ball and what they're going to do. So they are a good players to start following when you're going to look statistically. So I'm hoping that next year. It sucks that it's over already, and I want to get into college football so bad to follow. But I want to get into college football so bad to watch it, but I don't know if I can handle it. I think I'm going to get very stressed out. I think it's going to be more of heart attack prone than NFL, and there's a hell of a lot more games to watch.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, definitely. No, I never got into college football, but
no, neither did I.
The beast in and of itself. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's too much for me. I'm trying to get NFL.
Right, absolutely, and they changed. I think the different pools that certain schools sit in as well, so it encourages more competition, and there's more of a chance.
I never understand how they did
basically, but yeah, I'm not sure of the specifics on it, but it's kind of a bridge too far for me at this point.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I can't understand how
people get too passionate.
They have the numbers after, like sometimes it has is that their seed or whatever, when they say
their ranking. Yeah, I think
that's what I'm wondering too. I think it is. Yeah, I think
I feel like it does change, or is it in the beginning of the season? That's how they're ranked as universities or whatever. Like I'm not even sure how that works.
I think there's like an initial rank that you get, and then as time goes on, like it would change based on how well you've played. But it's one of those things like you could appreciate if you went to one of those schools.
Oh, sure, absolutely. You're hardcore, yeah. But getting to Nico's point about sometimes you just start off by liking a person and you follow that person as well.
So true.
That's how it started for me, was because of Breeze, right? And that's why I started liking the Saints. And it's the same thing on why I also kind of follow Buffaloes, because I really like Josh Allen. I think he is absolutely fantastic. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. And he's a big, strapping kid. And I mean, he's not one of these ones that a lot of times will just slide when he comes. Like, he'll try to, barge his way right through and just keep going and steamroll, right? So
not afraid.
I respect that.
He's not afraid of getting hurt to his, detriment sometimes. But one thing I had seen is that he played the second half of that AFC Championship game with a broken thumb on his throwing hand. Yeah, on his throwing hand, which is absurd.
Yeah, no shit.
And he was still playing that well. So
wow, no kidding.
He's impervious to pain. Like
Josh Allen.
Oh, that guy, yeah, he was beaten up. You know what? I like that they gave everybody in the league before the football. They gave a lot of these guys the credit that they deserved. I feel bad for Joe Burrows, because I feel like that fucking the award that they gave him, the achievement or whatever award it is for quarterback, because he's an amazing quarterback, right? His team shit.
He had a terrible team this year to work.
Yeah, and it wasn't even his fault. Like, if you look at his stats, his stats there are just impeccable. Like, still, even though nothing was his fault in that way that team lost this year, and they never got he's not getting the respect he deserves. And I don't see, if it happens again, I don't see him sticking around, right? As much as they're going to pay him or whatever, unless they can change the team around him. Yeah, he was getting sacked left and right. It's like Caleb Williams, like with the Bears.
Awful. Yeah, Cincinnati's defense this year was terrible. Oh my goodness, was it bad?
It was a lot. Like the Bears, they just sucked. And Caleb Williams he would have been a more phenomenal. See, the reason why I feel that Jaden Daniels took the MVP for the Rookie of the Year this year is because he took his team to the actual.
Right. They were definitely his fault.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
No, but the thing with the Jaden Daniels too, I think the only reason he got the MVP this year, like, I mean, he deserved it, well deserved, but the reason he might have outbeat Caleb Williams is because he brought the team to the playoffs for the first time since
100%.
06. Right. 100%. So I mean,
well, look at Bo Nix from Denver.
Yeah, but Denver is another team that fucking couldn't pull it off. Like, it wasn't the quarterback's fault. No, there's a lot of things I'm starting to see. It's not the quarterback's fault. These guys can thread a fucking they can thread one of those balls like through a needle. Like, I don't know how they get it into that spot. And speaking of the way they were throwing, did you see the way that Jalen Hurts was throwing those long bombs yesterday? And if he wasn't doing that, he had his defense open up the whole zone for him to run.
It was he deserved the MVP. Like we were talking about that yesterday. We're like, well, he's really there's nobody really that can, other than
Mahomes can't run.
No,
like they had him. They were chasing him. He was chased back. Yeah, he was getting chased back.
That one where Mahomes all of a sudden turned and went back and then ran right into his own player, and then he ended up smacked down. Where the hell are you going, man?
It's like, is this guy drunk already? Like,
I didn't know what was
celebrate before.
Never seen him that discombobulated on the field.
No,
right? Like,
you're right.
He had a like a yips moment. He choked, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and yesterday was the epitome of like a football game that was deserved to be it was a football game. It wasn't called by the refs. It was officiated great. Nobody really won except for really Philadelphia in that sense, because honestly there was no when I say that nobody actually won, anybody that had tried to play point spread or they tried to box to play the pool or whatever, they didn't win. Fuck them all. That whole football game screwed everybody when it came to money bets, right?
Yeah.
When it came to money line bets and stuff like that. Oh yeah, there's no way. So the real team that
absolutely
that walking into the game with too much
too much confidence is dangerous.
You know,
and
but they also they try to stay off social media, but the hardest part is trying to stay off social media when everybody around you is on it. Regardless, unless you get locked in a room or in a courtroom, like where you can't have any access to social media,
it's hard, man.
You're gonna see stuff about. There's memes. There's gonna be everything out there about. You know, and guys like Kelsey. I mean, is he telling me his brother wasn't checking out all the posts and all the memes and stuff before? You know, his brother got onto the field.
Jason, yeah.
Well, and they've got their own podcast where they have to discuss all these.
Well, I was just going to say that. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, yeah. Yep.
And he probably talked a bunch of shit on his podcast. Who knows? I didn't hear that one. Right?
Who knows?
I didn't either. Yeah. But I mean, it's next to impossible. So some of it gets into your head. How could it not? Right?
Yeah. No, absolutely, for sure. I agree.
I like how also Josh Allen got the MVP this year, which was not MVP, which was the what did he get? The MVP of the season, right?
For the season, yeah.
You know what? Well deserved. I mean, after it was
pretty incredible.
He's been doing everything he can to get that team. Like he's a Superman in a sense. He's like that good homeschool kid that you go up to. He's probably polite. He probably talks like a Tom Brady and stuff like that. You know, where he's very very
and Eddie Haskell. That's what I always call them. And Eddie Haskell.
He can do it all too, right? Like he can, you know, you might as well just give him the ball, right?
Yeah.
But
and Buffalo lost a couple of key players too.
No, they did.
So they still did as well as they did.
Yeah, and he picked up the slack. That's the thing with Buffalo. Like they're missing a couple of really dynamic pieces, so they're forced to rely on Josh Allen too much, and it just shows eventually, right? It gets to the point where they need somebody else to be the superstar from time to time, and it just hasn't happened that way yet. So they're close though. They're very close. Who knows what they do in the off season now? But
true.
Yeah. How do you think your team's going to do this year in the off season?
Well, that's what I was going to say before we go here. Like I wanted to get I wanted to see what Kathleen's prediction.
The Steelers are several pieces away. They're several pieces away. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like. But the
they have a good defense, am I right?
Trouble. Yeah, the defense is okay. Couple of additional
probably had the most
DJ like Watt
linebackers, that sort of thing.
Watt is fantastic. Like I mean, I can't see them getting rid of Watt.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen at all. No. Our secondary is young, and I think come next year we'll be better for it. We need a couple more linebackers in there to kind of bolster the whole situation. But the defense is very workable. The offense, on the other hand, is just it needs a lot of work. We had some key injuries on the O-line, which was a big impact. So hopefully that is improved. But we need a key receiver. I think, and then we also need we need to figure out that whole quarterback offensive coordinator relationship, because whatever the heck was going on behind closed doors between Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith, like the more I hear about it, the worse it gets. No, see, even Cowboys fans are trying to get rid of Prescott.
Cowboys fans are just trying to
here we go.
Those big oil type things, right?
The big it's I get what you're saying. You know what? Your quarterback, like I found that shit, what the hell was his name? What's the one before Wilson that was playing when he got hurt? Fields. He actually he didn't do too bad actually.
No, in fact, I hope they re-sign Fields and work with him going forward, because he was really screwed up coming from Chicago. That whole system was broken, and he was so so fresh faced at the time that, you know, you just kind of learn the system around you, right? And the Steelers did a good job, I thought, of kind of deconstructing what he had learned before and trying to get him into better habits and that sort of thing. He needs to be stronger when he's calling plays at the line, that sort of thing. But he's still very young, right? So I would be very happy if they re-sign Justin Fields, but they then have to go with it, right? That's exactly the thing. Like Steelers fans and the team alike like consistency and like, you know, people to perform up to a certain standard, and when that doesn't happen, then there's a whole bunch of grumbling and what have you. So if you're going to go with Justin Fields, you have to go with Justin Fields, and we have to work with him for better or for worse for a little while, right? But for sure. No, it's just been a mess. It's been a mess ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired. The quarterback situation has been a disaster.
That's his name. Yeah, I was like Roethlisberger. I knew I'm saying so. I thought I was
he did very well for you guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For myself, even in seasons where he didn't play very well, he was still one of the league's best quarterbacks, right? Absolutely. So you can't argue that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. As for my team, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, what's going to happen with the Saints? That whole coaching situation.
They're gonna pray. Yeah. They're gonna pray. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on with Carr. Some stories say that basically Carr's going to come back. Some say he's not going to come back. Yeah. And they still have the coaching. They still have the coaching issue that they got to figure out. I don't know where they're going to go with this interim coach. Now they're saying that guy from the Eagles is supposed to be.
That was rumored too.
Yeah, that was rumored that he was going to go to the Saints for a head coaching position. If we can get everybody,
Washington making any fucking changes for next.
That's good though. You know what? That's good. Then they're going to be a strong team. Then. You know,
well, no, it's because they had the team, they just didn't have the quarterback for quite a while. They haven't had the.
Oh, now we'll see what happens for next year for them, man, for sure.
Yeah, they have a young team
blowout year. Yeah, and they can stay pretty healthy. They got a good offensive line. They got a good defensive line. They got a good core of players to work with for the next few years. So I'm hoping that I could see them go further than they did this year because. That was amazing. I didn't think they were going to go. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I knew Jaden Daniels is another kind of quarterback. There's not very many quarterbacks like that come up that young that are that good anymore. He's just always had some sort of knowledge for the game. You can see it. His mind is there. He's a good pocket. He can play good in the pocket, and he can also take it out if he has to and do what he has to do with it. He can still run. He's not the biggest guy in the world. But I mean, you can always work on size, right? Right.
Well, you can run.
He's still young, right? So putting on that kind of
if they take that quarterback slide away next year, because they're talking about getting rid of the quarterback slide that when they take the ball for the run and they dive and they take the hit, like be a man, take the hit. We're playing football here. You can't. Not everybody's a Josh Allen size quarterback or a Lamar size quarterback or a Jalen Hurts size quarterback that could take a hit. But I mean, you got to be able to at least like Mahomes. He was taking some hits yesterday, and I felt bad for the guy because he's not a big guy at all, and to get pushed around like that, I mean, it's got to hurt, right?
Well, I did see.
He's not used to it either, right?
Yeah, I did see a comparison that they had. One of the things that I was watching where, and I'll have to give it to Tom Brady. They were showing when he was playing for New England, and he got hit so hard his helmet flew off.
Oh, yeah.
And he still got up, fetched his helmet, put it back on. And, of course, and then they show a modern day, like where you barely touch the guy and he goes, like Mahomes and one of the plays, like where you barely touch him and he goes down. He's like, it's like they're saying this was the difference. Quarterbacks back then can take a hit, get up, still play and not whine about it. And
no, I think a lot of the whining about it isn't even about whining. It's about taking a breather for everybody. I don't think, it's not like, let's say soccer where they dive and they start crying like little, that's the same thing. It's all they're doing is getting themselves a little bit of energy back because, they're running a lot. These guys, some of them, like I'll give Mahomes credit because he knew that the ball was gone. Like when the guys took off, he just said, you know what, there's a flag on the play. Don't run. Let them keep running and taking the ball. That's when they fumbled the ball. And
I remember that one. Yeah,
right. And they went for the run. They knew he kind of called his team back. He goes, I know it's coming back, but still, I mean, they had some shitty calls against them too. And I'm not a KC fan, but they had some calls, not shitty, but they had some calls well deserved, like when they got the 15-yard penalty for what was that? What was that fucking penalty?
Unsportsmanlike, wasn't it?
There was an unsportsmanlike.
No, I don't think there wasn't an unsportsmanlike.
Because one of the players got nailed after the whistle had gone, and he still charged.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was, and that's a 15-yard penalty, and that's that's a serious, like that's so. Why did you do that? You just cost your fucking team 15 yards. They just got up past the 10 year. They just got their first down again, and now you're gonna bring it back 15. Like, really?
No, exactly. That's when you see the cooler heads prevail, right? And it didn't happen for them.
That's right.
Didn't happen for them. But the whole flopping thing is so funny though, because it makes me think, like, you do it so that you can attract attention as well. Because hey, if the ref seems to think that I deserve a penalty for that, then sure. What do I care if I flop around the field a little bit? And it's worked for Mahomes for quite some time too.
Hell yeah,
right?
Big time.
So why not do it? And then Tom Brady, to his credit, you were absolutely right. Like, he did get hit several times, but then as he got older, he also did a bunch of things to protect himself. Like, if he saw the play was falling apart, he'd throw the ball away and live to see another day, kind of thing. Now Mahomes doesn't do that, right?
Not yet. He's gonna have to learn.
And he scrambles around, and usually it works for him. He'll chuck it, downfield a little bit, a little shuttle pass or something like that, and it works.
He was under pressure the whole time. Like his offensive line couldn't hold back. Those guys were on a mission yesterday from the Eagles, man. They were on a mission to just take him out, and none of those guys from Kansas City, I don't think, were expecting the rush they were gonna, the push they were gonna get from the defensive line on the Eagles side. Oh yeah, they look tired. They look they look like they were getting pushed around like it was nothing. The guys on the Eagles were just like, they were having a ball with it. I mean, hey, that's another thing too. So when you guys did your thing, who guessed yellow for the fight? Because that's not a color that comes out very often.
It's not. Actually, Wayne got that.
I think, I'm pretty sure
it was Wayne and one other. I think Allison did too.
Remember who else got
I can't remember. I think there's two people that got yellow. It was Wayne, Wayne and Allison, I think, because I went.
That's the one thing I missed this year.
It's fun. You know what? It's a blast, man.
We were all waiting with bated breath, like, oh, there's the Gatorade. Where is what's the color? What's the color? It looks yellow. It looks yellow. It's yellow.
They were teasing. You almost got to see it, and then they finally got him, right?
I know. Yeah. No, that part is
he's a good coach. I mean, you know what? He deserves it too as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is the fun part about doing Super Bowl parties, is being able to do, like how many times do you see there was no butt crack this time.
No butt crack.
But how many times, do you see Taylor Swift, and how many times, there's so many other things. Is there going to be like a missed field goal, or is there going to, just all these little different side bets? It was
they had the yellow purple. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I know you're trigger happy today, Rob.
She chose the yellow / purple option. So
okay, So, but it was really good. It was good, and like I said, you were missed. So hopefully you don't get sick next year, and you'll be able to join us next year.
No, I should have got you to take a picture of all the fucking bets and see what place it is. I said, okay, give me that one, give me that one, give me that. I was like, in my head, I was thinking, fuck, what do they got on there for their bets this year?
Like, I guess I could have, but I mean, it's better when you're there. We'll get you when you're there, and we'll go from there. But
I felt bad. I saw my super fans over there, right?
Yeah,
no,
you're super.
You guys might not have liked me out there this year. I was gonna come with a vengeance. If I would, I didn't even have my jersey yesterday because I don't have it yet. But I don't need it anyways. It would have
save it for next year.
Next year you'll have it.
If I ordered it, it would have sucked if I ordered it and they actually went to the playoffs. Like they made it.
You would have been pissed.
I would have been so upset, right?
Yeah. No, I know.
Next year.
And I got all these fucking toques. I have all these toques for.
You do.
but I don't have the Washington one yet either.
You will. You never know. You'll get it, I'm sure.
It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry.
It is.
Regardless, even if I got to go get it myself, I'm gonna get it because I like those tubes with the balls on the top. I don't know why.
Oh, the dingle ball things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the dingle ball thing. Yeah, that little fuzzy pom ball. Yeah, the pom ball on the top or whatever. So
that's the best.
Yeah,
kind
he's got. Yeah, he's got.
I got quite a few here. Look.
We're back to the beginning now. He's pulling hats out of.
Yeah, I know. I pulling hats here. I got this one. I got this one. I got this one. He's like, holy shit, dude. What is that? The Lions. Oh, there's the Bills. Okay, there's your Bills. Are you that confused? Vikings. What the hell are you doing?
Where are you getting these things from?
Yeah, really. Pulling them out of your ass. Jesus.
Wait, I got a Seahawks one in here too somewhere.
Oh my god.
Wait, it's here somewhere.
Yeah, I know, eh? Like how
Yeah, there's a Seahawks one.
Oh shit. You're crazy, dude. Fuck. Unbelievable.
49ers, I got them all, man.
Oh,
pick them, choose them, got them, need them.
You're crazy.
There's no worth of toques in there.
That's all right. I already asked him. I said, "Where's my Saints hat?" So I'm waiting.
Yeah, no, there's no Saints.
They said,
yeah, I don't see Steelers. I don't see Cowboys.
No.
Yeah,
I don't even see
they were
the
all
Ravens.
useless this year. They were all useless this year, so they didn't come out with them.
You got to get one for your boss, man. You got to get one. You got to get a Ravens one.
Oh jeez. No, you know what? I'm gonna get him one.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I got you, bro. I got you.
So he's got.
Don't worry, we'll get you. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna keep it a secret right now. I'll get him a special one.
Nice.
I'll give him a Saints one or something. You know,
that's what I want. I want to say,
Rob Baltimore.
No, you'll be in there in a minute. There, grab that one. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh
well, this went a lot longer than I expected, but you know what? It was absolutely fantastic.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Who won yesterday? Who won yesterday out of our little thing? Everybody fucking went for the Eagles
except for Wayne did.
Yeah, Wayne. Yeah,
Wayne won it all.
Won the regular season and he won the playoffs.
Yeah,
fucking Wayne.
Yeah, he won both. Hey,
let me ask you a question. Well, what was his tiebreaker? Because I think we were pretty close.
No, it's a good question.
Okay, but I thought it comes down to the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
If it's a tie during that week, isn't it how it works? I just need that.
If it was tied. Yeah, if it was tied, but I think he already knew that he pretty much walked.
It was going to be tied because I put like 34 to like 24 for the Eagles.
We all did that. It was about 34. I did 36, 32, I think.
Yeah, it's like a much closer spread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
much more.
It was similar. It was like, because what was the final score? 40.
I'm gonna talk her into trying to do the national with us for the hockey as well.
Oh, the fourth.
Yeah. You
know what? That one is coming, guys. This week we're gonna start.
This week, yeah.
Because remember, hockey's gonna stop for a little bit. I don't know. Are they still playing while they're doing this? This is what I like to know.
She did 40-22. Yeah, that's crazy. 40-22.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the
score is crazy. Yeah. That must have like won every over.
Bet
big time.
But let me ask you a question. With this whole thing coming up, guys, with this because we're going to be moving on to this next show that me and Rob are going to try to come through with you with these Four Nations Cup, because these they're situated at good times. These shows are very, very pulp culture. I mean, like what we're trying to come through with the channel now, because there's a lot more. We've taken a big shift since we've gotten rid of the late night chat, as you guys know. We stopped it at 300. But there's a lot of surprisingly, me and Rob have been really trying to come out with shows like to try to keep moving forward on this, right? I'm still trying to get some of the other hosts to come up with shows and stuff like that and do certain things, and Nico's still trying to do the same as well. But we've kind of pivoted everything into a different direction, which has been great for us. And it's been great for the actual content coming out, because I mean, who doesn't love to recap the football, and who doesn't love to recap stuff like that, especially when it comes to sports and stuff. When it comes to like this Four Nations Cup, I cannot wait to do a recap shows on those, because I love hockey, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Kathleen, but if you've heard me on the previous podcasts of this football one, the football is like the double of what my because I like baseball and I like hockey. So baseball's strategic, hockey's physical, and football combines them both. And I don't know why I haven't fucking followed football all these years, and I just started. Like I genuinely am upset that I never got to watch football games with my uncle or my Horseshack, because he used to get mad at me like, "What are you not watching football for?"
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand why he wasn't watching it.
I was always used to hound me all the time. Why are you not watching football?
You should love this sport.
Yeah. So
until I started, but I can see where like the last 5 minutes of the fucking game, it's like the last 5 minutes of a podcast that we try to do takes 10 hours to get off, right? Like,
which I've been trying.
Yeah, I know you have, but it ain't happening.
People got to go to work.
Stop. Yeah.
I
mean, I love the enthusiasm, but it's like
I'm going. I mean, like, but yeah. Okay, let's just We'll round it up here. So we know that we've already found out who's won the Super Bowl, guys, and you know, it was a great time. You guys following along with us, and everybody following along with Rob and I, and Kathleen. Thank you for having. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Gracing us with your presence, because honestly, everybody is it's an open invitation to anybody that wants to come on, and this is what I say, because it really is. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It doesn't matter what you like. There's always an open door here at this point. That's what we have at Late Night Chat Network. Okay, we have an open door policy. We let anybody, like they let me on for fucking 5 years of my life. They haven't taken me off. They can't get me off of here, man.
They
will never be
game on. That was it. We're like, oh boy.
No, Nico gave me my own shows and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not getting off of this. I love this. I love looking at you guys. Think I'm looking at you guys? No, I'm looking at myself.
He's looking at himself.
You have no idea. No idea. When I do the wink. When I do the wink, it's all for me, not for the ladies.
Yes, exactly. He's still regretting that one. Yeah, thanks. But no, in all honesty, like I am so glad that you came on. I really do appreciate it, because your knowledge, I love learning more about this, and I know with your knowledge and everything, it's just it made
I'm coming prepared.
This episode was absolutely fantastic. You helped this episode
so much fun to chat about football.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll come on for the Four Nations Cup too. Absolutely.
Oh, that's wicked.
I can't wait. I was a little hesitant on it at first, and I didn't quite understand. You know, it feels like a gimmick, right? In the middle of the season like that. But any opportunity, I think, at this point for there to be international competition, especially in the NHL, because they keep missing things like the Olympics and what have you, because dumb politics and all those sorts of things. So it's nice to have the tournament, and I mean, Team Canada looks fantastic. So do the other teams, though. So it's
and there's no Russia,
I think, and there's no Russia.
But you want to know what's scary is that there might be a Russian that takes that fucking title away from Gretzky, and
let's not talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Let's somebody break his legs. I'm sorry, I will stay alive here on here.
Come on,
I need him to take him out. He's an old man. He's an old man now. We need to take him out by the legs or hip or something that he can't come back.
He'll get tired. Don't worry. He'll get tired. He won't be able to make it.
Oh, he's not that far off, buddy. He's not that far off. It's scary.
It's gonna happen. It's so gonna happen.
I know, and it's scary. I don't want that to ever happen, but you know what?
Well, then you know what? Wayne's gonna have to come back and play a few more games.
No, but I'll tell you right now.
Gordie Howe can do it. He can do
it. He's put in a lot of effort and a lot of work over years. That remember where Wayne Gretzky didn't take half that time. Like to get to
kidding.
That
I know. Yeah.
So I mean, he's put a lot of time and effort, and he's taken a beating. I mean, you've been watching Ovechkin.
He's hurt.
Gretzky's just sitting there drinking and having fun on the sidelines. You know, and I mean, like in his own winery and stuff like that, doing that shit, right? So he's having his own good time, right?
Yeah.
No, it's so true.
Okay. But are they going to stop the NHL during this period? Because now it's 2 weeks. So there's going to be no games.
No games.
No games. Yep, they're all taking a break.
There are no goals. Completely stopped it.
That's like a commercial. No goals.
Absolutely.
Overtime. Yeah. That's great. You're right.
I didn't even think about
100% correct. 100% correct, man.
I was a little younger again when those games were out. Yeah, it wasn't
man.
like it was today. It's different, and
Yep.
it's a different sport, bro. It's faster. It's a lot different.
Yep.
Sticks
Yep.
are different than they used back in the day.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
different style.
Yeah.
Different style, yeah, and it is
So
gonna
true.
be. Look at this Mahomes picture now. He just changed it.
I know. Jesus.
Oh,
All right.
but
Let's
so
wrap
keep
this up.
posted. And thank you again, Kathleen, for coming on
Yes,
here. And
thank you
joining
so
me on
much.
the
Thank
Rob
you so much for
Talk
having
Show.
me. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will get you back on here for sure for the Four Nation, and that's to whoever else wants to come on and talk
Good
smack with us
stuff.
about
Yep.
different
right.
countries and stuff like that. Now we get to make fun of countries, so we don't get to just make fun. We get to make fun of the U.S. and we get this
Yeah.
is right.
No, we get to put on our John Kerry hats, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Because we have teams that are intertwined with Canadians and Americans, and now you're going to see them you're going to see a Cole Caulfield joining an Austin Matthews and a Nick Suzuki joining a fucking McDavid, or a Sidney Crosby. You know what I mean? It's going to be it's going to be a really interesting one. I'm going to really love.
Mitch Marner is going to play on that line with Connor McDavid. How exciting is that?
Oh, that's going to be something else. And if it works out tremendously, they're already talking about Connor McDavid coming to Toronto. It'll never happen.
No. I would see Marner go there first. I would see Marner leave.
I could see that too. You're right. I could see Marner going to Edmonton.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I can see him. Matthews knows he's so far up.
Jeez.
You know what? Take Draisaitl. Right. He's already at 40 goals, buddy. So
I know, man. Yeah, he's doing all right.
He's the man. So all right, guys. Thanks once again. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you've seen what you've seen here. We're bringing you guys the Four Nations Cup coming up, so we'll do some recap shows on that. That should be interesting. A lot more sports to watch for me and Rob. A lot more. Fun to keep talking. Like it's hard for even me and Rob to have normal talks nowadays because we talk about sports on the regular.
Everything,
so it's like, what do we do, right?
Yeah.
But like Mahomes is out of here.
See? Yeah, he's peace out. I'm out. See you next year.
Oh, yeah. So, but like and subscribe, guys. It's Late Night Chat Network, right? It's your one stop for pop culture talk. And I know Nico's been waiting around to hear me say that because it is. It's your one stop.
You got it. You nailed it.
Right?
No more tongue twister for you,
bro.
It just flows off the tongue now. Yeah.
It just flows. Yeah, it's like Nico had it right. It just flows off the tongue, right?
Nice.
So, guys, but thanks for tuning in. I think we've had our highest viewership now. That thanks to you, Kathleen.
Yes, thanks to you. Absolutely.
We'll see. Yeah.
No, it is. Why we can already tell.
Yeah, we're just two old white men on here. We don't get enough praise. We don't get enough praise. Right?
Minor amounts of diversity into the
perfect.
Here.
And that's exactly what we need.
That's it. When we have one of the ladies on here, then then we know we're doing a good job.
Yeah, so more people in.
Yeah, that's right.
But guys, thanks again. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and we'll keep you
Appreciate
guys posted.
All the comments.
Make sure,
absolutely.
Make sure to keep following our Instagram page at Late Night Chat Network because that'll keep you posted with all the new and upcoming stuff that we aren't going to be able to tell you live on shows. We'll try to get it into the pre-recorded shows that we do, but for sure, you guys will be. We'll make sure to have you guys all tuned in and ready to go and make sure everybody knows when we're going to be coming back on and stuff for different things. So, guys, thanks for everything. Thanks you, again, Kathleen. I can't say it enough. Rob, thanks for putting up with my bullshit for the last few weeks. And don't worry, we'll have more fun.
Man. We had a blast.
All right, guys. So I got nothing more to say, which is funny because I actually have a lot more to say, but I am gonna let you guys out of here and we're gonna say goodbye to everybody right now. Okay, guys. So thanks again.
Thanks for
the NFL playoffs. Go Eagles. Fuck KC, and we're done. We're out of here.
Boom. We're out of here.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Here, check this one out. I'm gonna do it.
Lord, now what are you doing?
There you go. I'm just doing it for you guys. There we go.
Is it even gonna
play?
Yeah, it's gonna play. What are you talking about? Here you go. Ready?
Welcome to the show, everybody.
All for the ladies.